So there have been a lot of requests for a simplifying a fraction, or when we see this, some people are still struggling with this idea. So when we have a fraction, we're looking at the top here number, and we'll look at the bottom number. And if we want to simplify it, we need to get out what they have in common, so we get two equivalent fractions. One way to look at it is to find the factors of the number on the top, and then to find the factors of the number on the bottom also. So when we look at the factors of 12, we know that we have 1, we have 12. These are pairs that we're looking for. We have 2, it goes into it when it goes 6. And then we know we have 3 and we have 4, and we know that 5 doesn't work, and so we're back there where we started, and those are all the pairs. 4 is a pair with 3, 2 is a pair with 6, 12 is with 1. Do the same thing with 24. I know that I have 1, I have 24. I have 2, I have 12. I have 3, I have 8, I got confused. And then I have 4, and I have 6, and then we don't have 7, so we know we're good. We've got all the factors there. Again, that's 1 pair, 2 pairs, 3 pairs, 4 pairs total. And then I look for what they have in common, and I'm looking for the greatest common factor that I can find. They both have 1s, but that's not the biggest number, so I'm not going to worry about that. They both have a 2, but again, that's not the biggest number. So I'm not going to worry about that. Again, I can do this all the way up to 3, 4, 6. They don't both have, they do not both have 8, so 8 wouldn't work anyways, but they do both have 12. So 12 becomes my greatest common factor. That's what I'm hoping for. So I know that the top one is equal to 12 times 1. And that is the same thing as 12. And then the second one is equal to 12 times 2. If I multiply 12 times 2, I get 24, so I know it's equal. If I break that fraction up, because you can do that because multiplication is commutative, I get 12 over 12 times 1 over 2. But 12 over 12 is equal to 1, so I can get rid of that completely. Goodbye, because that equals 1. And I even write that up here, 12 over 12 equals 1, which would give me 1 times 1/2. So my answer just becomes 1/2. And this 12 over 24 fraction equals 1/2. That's one way to look at it. So another way to think about it is to say that if I know that 12 is the greatest common factor, I, in my mind, divide 12 by 12, I get a 1, so I cross it out and write a 1. I divide 24 by 12 and I get a 2, so I cross it out and I write a 2, so I see that it's 1/2. You can do this with a lot of different fractions, like if we had 18 over 12, I know it's 6 goes into those both, and 6 goes into 18 3 times. And a 6 goes into 12 2 times, so I end up with 3 over 2. And these are equivalent fractions, but now the fraction's been simplified. And that's a short way to do it. The longer way would be listing out all the factors. So one other point to make again is if we had like 18 over 24 again. So we know that you don't just have to look for the greatest common factor. If you know that like 3 is a factor of both and you want to try that. So I know that 3 times 6 gives me 18, and I know that 3 times 8 gives me 24, so I can break that down and get 6 over 8, but I'm not done, and I'll recognize that. Then I can say to myself, well, 6 over 8, I know that it's 3 times 2, and 8 is 4 times 2, and now I see that one, and then I can be done. So it adds another step if you don't find the greatest common factor, but you still get to something that works. So that's always a good way to look at it too, is don't get frustrated if you don't know the greatest common factor, but you know one factor. Start with the one factor and just keep working it until you get to the number that you know is smallest.